India wins. India's World Cup felt inevitable long before the confetti fell, but destiny still demanded nerve. Under a washed and cooled D.Y. Patil sky, India stitched together a champion's performance, equal parts ambition and composure, to beat South Africa by 52 runs and lift the Women's ODI World Cup for the first time. The scoreboard reads 298 for 7 plays 246. The story runs far deeper. The opening set the tone. Shafali Varma walked out with Smriti Mandhana not to survive but to surge, reading swing like a seasoned navigator and stepping into drives that rang off the bat. Kaka's early movement misfired. Cap's length searched for help that never quite came. In 8 overs, India were 58 without loss, the stadium humming. Mandana's back cut and cover drive returned from the notebook of favorites, while Shafali's timing felt inevitable. 5 boundaries at her first 19 balls, soon upgraded to a straight-lifted 6 off de Klerk. When the partnership touched 104, South Africa needed a break, not merely a bend. They found it when Mandhana, having tuned the infield, nicked a late cut, a reminder that even beautiful gears can slip. From there the innings became a duel with conditions. Mlaba's pace variations and de Klerk's straighter lines squeezed the middle, the surface occasionally holding and asking batters to earn every release. Shafali, cramping but uncompromising, raised her highest ODI score, 87 off 78 of nerveless intent, before perishing in the arc that had fed her best. Jemimah Rodrigues, Harmanpreet Kaur, and Amanjot Kaur all found starts without transformation, 2 of them undone by balls that paused just long enough to make good technique look hurried. Ayabonga Kaka's redemption was the spell of the innings. After 3-0, 29-0 up top, she returned with Yorkers and cutters, conceding 29 in her final 7 and picking off Shafali, Rodrigues, and, late, the dangerous Richa Ghosh. Still, India kept climbing. Deepti Sharma, the metronome with a motor, added a runnable 58, not flashy but perfectly weighted, peppered by authoritative slog sweeps and unshowy strike rotation. When Ghosh arrived at 245 for 5 in the 44th, she promptly lofted her second ball for 6, the only batter who truly bullied the old ball through the line. Kaka's last over to her, relentless, tailing, inch-perfect, won a mini-battle and probably saved 10 runs. De Klerk closed with a tidy final set. India closed on 298, too short of a round number but, as it turned out, several steps beyond par. Renuka Singh's new ball spell set the tone of the defense without drawing blood. Her booming in wing and canny fields forced indecision rather than strokes, and when the first chance came it required brilliance. Amanjot Kaur, wrong-sided at mid-wicket, pounced and threw down the stumps to catch Tasman Brits short. 2 overs later Sri Charani, on early for grip, trapped Annika Bosch dead in front with one of those Pindi-style lengths that look hittable until the seam stands up. That was 2 down, but it was also Laura Wolvert's night, again. Wolvert played like a captain of inevitability, wrists unlocking leg-side gaps, a straight 6 off Deepti to redraw the field, tempo calibrated to the chase. Soon Luz gave her tempo a partner, square and fine sweeps that turned dots into ones and ones into twos, and at 50+ for the 3rd wicket, India needed disruption more than containment. They found it in the most unlikely hand. Shafali Varma, owner of 1 ODI wicket in 30 previous appearances, ambled into bowl and promptly made mischief. Her second ball gripped like a slow leg cutter without the flourish. Luz, playing for the orthodox, closed the bat face and offered back the simplest of return catches. Shafali stayed on, fizzed an off-break that turned enough to brush Cap fine, caught down the leg side, and D.Y. Patil exploded. In the span of 8 balls, South Africa's crews had encountered a sandbank. Even then, Wolvert's century charge, balanced head, brutal clarity, held the match on edge. Jafta's promotion clogged the gears rather than greasing them, but Anuri Dirksen reignited the chase with back-to-back 6s off Radha Yadav, one of them a high full toss that brought a no-ball and a wince from the fielding captain. Wolvert punished Shafali's 7th over with consecutive 4s, and with 11 to go the equation read 92, steep, but not fanciful for a lineup famous for late ambushes. Deepti removed fancy from a conversation. She returned and produced a Yorker that seemed to arrive from another format, too quick and too true for Dymentionz. 1 over later, she turned the screws on Wolvert with a slower ball that dipped just enough to force the big swing off the toe. The miss-hit hung for a lifetime. Harmanpreet, sprinting from deep mid-wicket, juggled, steadied, and clung on as she fell. The stadium exhaled as if the trophy had changed hands mid-air. 3 balls later, Deepti cross-seamed one through try-on shot. Umpire's call made it stick. 3 balls later, Deepti cross-seamed one through try-on shot. Umpire's call made it stick. South Africa's last gate had clanged. The tail fought for pride. Nadine de Klerk briefly threatened a heist before probability reasserted itself. Deepti finished with 5 for 39, turn, dip, cunning, and control, an all-timer of a spell on a night that asked for nerve. Shefali added 2 for 36 to her 87. Renuka's numbers were less glamorous than her questions. Sharani's early strike mattered more than its modest total, and India's fielding, Harmanpreet's run-out and that catch, added the steel champions always seemed to carry into finals. For South Africa, Wolvert's 101 off 98 was the tournament's most complete act of resistance, a captain's masterpiece that deserved a different ending. Her 571 runs set a World Cup record, a ledger she wrote in ink while the rest of us ran out of adjectives. Kaka's 3 for embodied heart and skill. Dymentionz's flare-lit cameo reminded everyone why the Proteas are no longer plucky, they're powerful. But this was India's finish line. What separated the sides? India understood the pitch sooner and better. With the bat, they banked upfront runs before conditions tightened. With the ball, they hit new ball lengths that denied release, then filled the middle with spin that attacked, not merely contained. They handled the game's mood swings, Kaka's late choke hold, Dymentionz's surge, Wolvert's spell, without blinking. And they had Deepti Sharma, the tournament's most complete cricketer, to shut the door. So the montage can finally play. Mandana's elegance at dawn, Shefali's audacity at noon, Harmanpreet's steel in the heat, Rodrigues' crescendo in the semi, Renuka's new ball questions, Sharani's timely strike, Harmanpreet's moments of gold, and Deepti, everywhere, all at once. The years of almost have been traded in for the certainty of a silver cup and a blue ribbon. India are world champions. Not by accident, not by miracle, but by mastery. And if this night felt preordained, it's only because the work was relentless, the belief unshakable, and the finish exquisite.
And every heartbeat feel the roar. With bat and ball, we're legends born. Colors bright, the picture light. For India, we'll always fight. From Delhi to the coastlines wide, the cheers are loud like ocean's tide. Every swing of hopes we chase, victory shines on every face. Shala India rising high, underneath the painted sky. With every chant the spirit soar, creating hearts forevermore. Spinning dreams like stars at night, swinging beams pure dynamite. Feel the blazing glory's flame, every playing of a name. Unity in every crowd, voices strong and spirits proud. Together we ignite the spark, guided by that inner eye. India rising high, underneath the painted sky. With every chant the spirits soar, creating hearts forevermore. every chant the spirits soar. Cricket